Good day, everybody. Welcome to Talking Football Daily. I want to bring you some football news before you sleep tonight. And if you see tomorrow, then what a day. Just try and see before the games tomorrow because we're going to do some FA Cup previews on this video. We're also going to talk about what's going on in Chelsea. We're going to talk about transfer news. We're also going to talk about the Italian Football Federation and so much more. So let's start with Chelsea. And Chelsea is having some issues with their players. Chelsea is having some football issues because they're in crisis. Chelsea is not doing well in the Premier League because they're not sure if they're going to qualify for Champions League this season. Last season they did some rebuilding. They won the Conference League. They qualified for the Champions League and they also won the Club World Cup. So as a Chelsea fan, you'll be happy at the start of this season thinking that, oh, something's going to happen good. But when you look at the transfer window that Chelsea did, coming up with players like Garnacho, coming up with players like Jamie Gittins and Joao Hato, you don't expect much this season. It's only a matter of time. You don't expect that kind of young players to put you through to the end of the season. You have some good moments, you have some bad moments, you have some instability and inconsistency when you're dealing with young players. So without talking too much about it, let's talk about Chelsea captain Enzo Fernández because we know that Enzo Fernández has been in the news lately. We also know that Marco Cuella has been in the news lately. But some people are wondering why is it that Enzo Fernández is the one getting into trouble? Well, he's the captain of Chelsea and he has been banned 2 games. Chelsea has banned him. Liam Rossini announced it today that he won't be playing the Port Vale game and he also will not be playing the Manchester City game, Chelsea versus Manchester City in the Premier League. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm not happy. I want Enzo Fernandez to be there because when Chelsea last played with Man City, it was Enzo Fernandez who scored the goal during the 9 minutes to make it a draw. So I need a player like that to help Arsenal win the league. If you can score a goal against Manchester City or give an assist or just do something that will make Manchester City not win, I would like that. But apart from that, Enzo Fernandez has been given too much ban and is in trouble. His agent has come out to say that it's not fair, that what he wants is to sign a new contract and they are negotiating and Chelsea is not doing it. That Enzo Fernandez never said he wants to join another club. He didn't mention any club, but he said he wants to live in the city Madrid. We know, everybody knows Enzo Fernandez is talking about Real Madrid, so don't play games, man. So Chelsea has punished him. So one way to look at it is it right for Enzo Fernandez to do what he did, to talk about other clubs, saying that he wants to go and talk about his contract, and we'll see at the end of the season if he'll be at Chelsea. Is it right for him to be talking so boldly in the press? And I feel like what Enzo Fernandez said is not even as worse as what Marco Cuella said, but maybe Marco Cuella managed to establish his relationship with Chelsea. When I look at the Enzo Fernandez deal and I look at Marco Cuella and I saw the reason why he said all those things, it could be from a selfish point of view. Marco Cuella said all those things because um, he he has not been in the starting lineup for a while. He has not been in the starting 11, and maybe he's not happy, and maybe he wants to be picked. And since they're not picking him, he wants to leave. So that's my guess on why Marco Cuella said it. But there's also the football aspect of it. You have to look at what he said, and he didn't lie about Chelsea. He didn't lie about the fact that players will feel discouraged in Chelsea. But that's not that. That's not what we're talking about now. We're not talking about Marco Cuella. We're talking about Enzo Fernandez. So about Enzo Fernandez, um, what I've heard and what I've seen is that Enzo Fernandez will sign for about, is it 100 and where's that money again? About 106 million pounds from Benfica. He was signed there to Chelsea and the deal is till 2032. 2032. He still has 6 years left on his contract and he's paid around 180,000 pounds every week. I think that money is too much for a player like Enzo Fernandez, or let's just say fair, since he's the Chelsea captain and they consider him as a high value player in Chelsea. But I don't think that guy will get into Arsenal's midfield. But Chelsea fans rate him and Chelsea Football Club rate him and he's their captain. But for me, 180,000 pounds is about as much as what Enzo Fernandez is supposed to earn. He's not supposed to earn, I don't see him as a 200k player. And he wants more. And since he's not getting the deal he wants, he's trying to go to Madrid or he wants out. But no, you can't go out because Chelsea budget for 106 million pounds, which I think is a scam. But kudos to Benfica for getting themselves that bag. 106 million pounds, almost 107. And you want to go and still have 6 years left on your contract, it's not possible. No renegotiation. If I'm Chelsea board, I won't add to his payment. I will let him go instead. I would rather sell him than to increase his wages. I don't rate him that much. He's a very good attacking player, but I don't see him creating enough chances for other people. So that's that about Enzo Fernandez. Then I also want to talk about the Italian football federation. We saw what has happened. We saw that Italy did not qualify for the World Cup and has been training for some days. They lost to Bosnia and they couldn't go to the World Cup for the third time. And we have seen there are some changes in Italy. The first one is Buffon, he was a goalkeeper for Italy all these years. I think he played for Juventus. He's a legend, and he has retired from football. But this time around, he resigned as role of Italian football delegation as the head. He resigned due to this. The head coach of Italy, has also parted ways with the Italian Federation, which is Gerano um, Gattuso. He has left Italy as head coach. He's no more the head coach of Italy, and the president has also left the scene. The president of Italian football has also parted ways with Italy, and that's to show you the kind of changes that is happening in Italian football. This is a big Italian crisis, and this thing started a long time now. And I would say it's your fault. It's the federation's fault where Italy is right now. They could have done what they had to do, but they were bigger than the Premier League in the 90s. They let the Premier League tie with them in 2005, and they let themselves go down. They didn't get the broadcasting right. They didn't pump money into Italian league. They were just taking and they never gave into it. And that's why Italian football is where it is today. That's why Italy is not doing well. And that's why PSG could beat Inter Milan about 5 goals in the UEFA Champions League final last season. Very big embarrassment. And I think they need to go back to their grassroots. They need to go to the streets. They need to look for boys of 10, 12, 13 years who they can train to be the next generation to save Italian football. And they need to work on their Italian league. If you can get Italian league to be maybe very close to the Premier League, and maybe there will be hope. Just get Italian football to what it once was, because we look at the squad that Italy has, it's not that bad. Bastoni, despite he got a red card, it's not a bad player. I rate him. I rate him as a world class defender. I rate Califuori because he plays for Arsenal. I rate Donnarumma. I rate Di Marco. They have some very good players there in Italy. So Italy should be a country that's in the World Cup. I think they have won the World Cup about 4 times, and this is the third time they are not qualifying, and it's a shame on Italy. The last one, the World Cup in 2006. So Italy needs to do some rebuilding, and that's why all these changes were made. The president has gone, the coach has gone, and the head of delegation before has also gone. So there's going to be a systematic change, and I think that's what Nigerian football needs to do. Nigerian football also needs to clean house so that maybe it can become good once again. Then let's talk about the FA Cup. The FA Cup ties. Tomorrow is the FA Cup, and there will be some fixtures around 12:45. City will be playing with Liverpool. City versus Liverpool. I hope Liverpool wins because I really do not like City, but let's see how it goes. And Liverpool has been given a boost because Alexander Isak is back. And hopefully we can see him in the FA Cup against City. But on the other side, they have also lost their goalkeeper, Allison, and he might be out till close to the end of the season. Maybe during that time is when he will come back. So one game, one loss. So let's just see how it goes. And I think Allison is more valuable for Liverpool than Alexander Isak is right now. Then another one to talk about is Chelsea versus Port Vale. Chelsea should be beating Port Vale without Enzo Fernandez. They should comfortably win Port Vale, but who knows, anything can happen because we don't know where Chelsea's head is at any point in time. Then Southampton versus Arsenal by 8 p.m. in my club, and I think we'll win that game. Speaking of Arsenal, say Martin Odegaard could be back for this game since Iberichi is out, and Timber could be back in for this game too. Then Nkape is also out. He will not appear in this game. Amadueke, his injury is not that serious. So that's that with the FA Cup. Then let's talk about a little bit of transfer news. We have Ederson, the player that plays for Atalanta, has verbally agreed to go to Atletico Madrid, while Rodri has been offered another contract by Manchester City, and his contract will be expiring in 2027. He was given an extension and is yet to accept it. And Madrid are interested in the player, so let's just see how it goes. So I think that's it on Talking Football Daily. Please, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great night. Bye. Peace.